afternoon, Ma'am Sir. My name is John Merson Mendoza, and I would like to present you our first game proposal entitled Can You Escape? First, the title. The bonding between a father and his daughter turns out to a horrific chase as Greg's daughter, Georgia, was kidnapped by unknown entities that roam the area. Greg must now find and track the kidnappers and rescue Georgia. We chose the title Can You Escape because as the game suggests, the player must escape the designated area and must rescue his daughter to finish the game. Introduction. First person perspective is a type it's a type of our game. First person perspective is like it's like our usual sight when you're walking, and we chose this kind of perspectives to enhance the experience of our players while playing the game. First person perspective is widely used to many types of games such as shooting games, horror games, and racing games, and many more. For to our proposal, we chose a horror game. The main purpose of this game is to engage the players to explore unknown areas and have them feel the thrill and feel that they never experienced before. By using a first-person perspective, it doubles the experience or it enhances the experience of the players that will play the game. Due to its scary and horror content, we advises that the age restrictions for this game is to 17 and above because it was implemented by ESRB or the Entertainment Software Reading Boards that games such as Can You Escape has a rating of M, meaning mature, and usually you need a guidance with an adult. So the players under 17 must have a supervision of an adult or any guardian that is available on their homes. But even though that this game is a horror game, this type of game strongly implements fast and critical thinking. Why? Because throughout the game, you will encounter some difficult challenges that requires critical thinking, and you need to solve and find some clues on how to rescue the daughter of the player. Review of related games. First, we chose Outlast. Why? Because here's the sample screenshot of Outlast. As you can see, here the character is using a camera and he is recording one of the events that we see in Outlast. It is quite similar to our game because first, the character will use a camera throughout the game to see and find the kidnappers that took Georgia. Second is Amnesia. We chose Amnesia as one of our related games because here you don't need to fight the enemies here, but you have option to hide and to hide to different kind of objects to the enemy, which is we use in our player to as itself defense mechanism in our game. Next one is the Slenderman game. Here, as you can see, as the screenshot, you can see that there is a flashlight used in this game, which we also use as well in our game. So we chose Slenderman because here in this game, the player must find some clues and or pages that in order to survive the game. While in Can you escape? The player or Greg must find some clues to track and to track his daughter. And for our last review is Fatal Frame. Okay, as you can see here, you can see here that in the camera, they can detect some ghost. In our game, we use as well the camera with thermal vision that senses living organisms that are available in throughout the game. Um, as the use of our thermal vision is to track as well and find what is the hidden or what is the true identity of the kidnappers. And next are outline of the gameplay.
I'm Ma'am Sarmiento. I'm Jasmine Manoto and I will be explaining the outline of the game. The overview of the game, Can You Escape, is a 3D first-person survival horror game. The story revolves around Greg Constantine, a famous writer and camera enthusiast, and his daughter Georgia Constantine. The intro of the game is when Greg and Georgia were at Greg's work where he toured Georgia around, and as night fell and they were headed back to their home, their car broke down, and as they called for help, help said that they were coming only in the morning, so they decided to camp for the night in their car and to sleep in their car. Greg instructed Georgia to never leave the car as it was dangerous outside. The night when Greg was sleeping, Georgia woke up and saw fireflies outside their car and decided to take pictures and videos of them using their thermal camera and completely disobeying her father's orders. As she was recording the fireflies outside, she noticed and heard something from the bushes and decided to check it out. But what she saw was an enormous figure which made her scream from her fright and alert her father. Her father immediately looked for her and only found the camera. And picking up the camera, he watched the video that was recorded by Georgia and noticed that his daughter was dragged off somewhere, which starts the game. This is the picture of the power plant where the player will be. This is a picture of one of the screenshots of inside of the power plant. This is Greg Constantine, our main protagonist. And this is his daughter, Georgia Constantine. This is one of the enemies of the game called the Subjects, and this is one of them who is the brute, one of the strongest ones. This is the fastest one among the subjects, and this is the psychic mom among the trio. This is Dr. Joseph, who is behind all the experiments and the subjects. And this is his this is his subject form. This is the camera that Greg uses to capture the monsters he does not see. This is the flashlight that Greg uses to light up his surroundings, and the battery that the camera needs, and the documents that he will need to collect to find out what happened in the power plant. And now for the key game features. One of the key features of the game is its run and hide concept. The players will not confront any of the monsters and will run away from it and hide. Another key feature of the game is the player's camera and its unusual use, which is it can track any living organisms using its thermal vision.
Good afternoon, Ma'am Sarmiento. I'm here at Lamberto de Valina. So, report the mechanics of the game. The mechanics of the game is Greg must find a way to find his daughter and gather documents needed to expose the happenings from the plantation. Aided with this flashlight and a camera, Greg must use these items to see and defend from the threat of the subjects. Failed human experiments conducted by Dr. Joseph Etienne Chauffeur that still roam and hunt the area. Players may also sprint when dangers come near, but be wary. Their stamina will easily be depleted in the long run. Next topic is the game control. Game controls are very easy. You just need to press W for the front walk, S backwards, A left walk, D right walk, mouse for to be able to look around, left mouse button to toggle the camera up or down, middle mouse, zoom in, zoom out, the scroll button to zoom in and zoom out the camera, E to interact, pick up items, open doors, lockers, and drawers, etc. And to toggle the night vision in order to see in the dark. Space is to jump and climb. Tab, open documents gathered, enter, inventory menu, escape button, main menu display. Next. Interactions. Player can interact with some of the objects he can see throughout the game, such as opening and closing doors, lockers, and drawers. Player can also use machines they can encounter to hide from subjects. We chose a PC or a desktop computer for this game to fully maximize the thrill and excitement that player may experience while playing the game. In order to make a game, you need a development tools. Two of these are modeling tools and programming tools. We chose Unity over other engines because Unity is easy to use and flexible. We chose Unity over other game engines because Unity is easy to use and flexible, that almost all types of games can be created using it. It is also beginner friendly and its user interface is easy to understand. Importing 3D models to Unity is not difficult as well. In 3D modeling tool, we chose the Blender. Although Autodesk Maya is commonly known as making 3D models and animations, we prefer using Blender. Blender is like a simplified Maya and much easier to navigate in terms of its tools. One may say that Blender is beginner-friendly modeling software.
Hanson Tony, and I will be presenting our second proposal, King the Lost Kingdom. King the Lost Kingdom. The title is, the line of the title is about a son of the king who is on a quest on restoring the balance in their kingdom because the evil one conquered it. The background of the project, or the introduction, the ideas and research gathered for this game came from ideas about our own favorite games and combining it to make a new game. We researched about how to make a game to be possible for us to develop, and if it's going to be 2D or 3D. We chose 3D because it will be a challenge for us to develop it. The review of related games are The Legends of Zelda, Oceanhorn, Monsters of the Uncharted Seas, The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, and Dark Souls 3. The Legend of Zelda. This is a screenshot of The Legends of Zelda. And about The Legend of Zelda, it is an open world RPG where the protagonist is Link and he always saves the princess, who is Zelda. Oceanhorn. Monsters of the Uncharted Seas. This is the screenshot of the game, and the story revolves around the protagonist, which he has no name, and the the ocean horn means it's the main antagonist of the game. Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt. It is an open world RPG where the Northern Kingdom and the Wild Hunt attacks the kingdom of Geralt, and he has he has no other choice than to fight back. Dark Souls 3. This is a screenshot of Dark Souls 3, the gameplay, and Dark Souls 3 is the latest chapter of the Dark Souls series with its trademark sword and sorcery combat and rewarding action RPG gameplay. Players travel across a wide variety of locations in an interconnected world of unrelenting challenge and deep RPG gameplay. Outline of the gameplay. King: The Lost Kingdom is a 3D third-person fantasy action-adventure hack-and-slash game that sets on the territory of the King Grand Plains. The game was inspired from components of RPG games and compiling its highlights. This is the concept art of the gameplay. This is the outside of the kingdom, and this is the forest. Then these are the key game features. Dynamic boss battles. The player will have to fight the generals of the king of the evil ones. These bosses will have a range of defeatable phases and evolve over the course of the battle. Exploration. Exploration covers more than just moving around the map. However, an important part of exploration is how interactive the world is and how dynamic it feels. Setting. Any great setting can be a great start of an RPG, which is why you often see popular franchises. Dramatic narrative. Good RPGs usually have a good story arc to go along with them, and hearts and a lot of hearts. Hearts will be used as a health meter in the game. The player needs to grab hearts in order to restore health that was lost during combat. This is the main protagonist of the game. His name is Victor. This is the antagonist of the game in the first chapter of the game. This is the troll. The second antagonist, an ogre. The third antagonist, the mutated bears. And the fourth antagonist, the overgrown trees. Mechanics of the game. Victor is on his quest, fighting through monsters and enemies in the goal of restoring balance in their kingdom, where he will defeat the Lord of Evil, Earn, with selective weaponry. He can choose what weapon of player desires to use. Destroy all enemies, save your kingdom. The controls of the game is very simple. You just need to use WASD for your mobility. Mouse, moving around your mouse will move around the screen. Left mouse button is the light attack, and right mouse button is for the heavy attack. Escape button is for the displaying of the menu if you want to quit or pause the game, and spacebar for the jump, and V for the dodge or roll. This is the interactions of the game. Door to door, you can open doors entering houses where you can fight enemies that hold civilians as hostages and slaves. NPCs or non-playable characters. You can talk to NPCs or people around the area telling you guidelines on what to do or where to go. Target platform. We chose PC or a desktop computer for this gameplay to fully maximize the thrill and excitement that player may experience while playing the game. This is the illustrations or the storyboard of the game. This is the menu where where the game will start. New game. The first four buttons is new game, load game, help, and exit. And when you press the new game, it will display a cutscene where the protagonist will talk and explain what happened. And after the cutscene, it will display the world map where you will choose it's chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and chapter 4. You can play chapter 2, chapter 3, and chapter 4 until you have finished the previous chapter. Like, it is a sequencing event where you should finish chapter 1, 2, then 3, then 4. And this is the inside gameplay screenshot of the game. Thank you. I will be discussing the third proposal, the Seventh League. The Seventh League is a game which is focused on shooting down zombies and surviving the virus outbreak. Background of the project. The ideas and research gathered for this game came from our favorite games or ideas known from our classic games, combining it and creating a new one. Review of related games: Alien Shooter, Crimson Land, Zombie Shooter, and Guns and Zombies. This is the screenshot of the Alien Shooter, which the game focused on aliens marching around the protagonist, and this is the dead bodies of the aliens. This game is a 2D game where it is similar to the Alien Shooter, where the monsters are spiders and other creatures. Zombie Shooter, where it is similar also to the other games, where the enemies are zombies. And you're just a turret, and you cannot move around just with unlike the other two games. Guns and Zombies. This is a 3D game where it is also related from the 3 games, where the enemies are zombies, and it is the most updated one among them. Outline of the gameplay. The Seventh League is a 2D action shooting survival and horror game that sets on a laboratory. The game was inspired from proponents of shooting games related and compiling its highlights. Key game features: dynamic boss battles, exploration, settings, and hearts, and a lot of parts. Dynamic boss battles, where during each wave there will be a boss, and the boss can multiply into 5 or more. Exploration because we decided that the map will be large, so it is more exciting to explore the game. Settings. The setting of the game or the game area will be displayed as a post-apocalyptic theme. And hearts and a lot of hearts. It will display the health bar as hearts, and every time you will be get hit or attacked by a zombie, the hearts will disappear, and you can only restore hearts from health kits when you destroy barrels. These are the characters of the game. This is the main protagonist. His name is Corky, and this is the enemy, the zombie, and this is the boss. His name is the Boss Giant. Mechanics of the game. Corky is on the fight of his life to survive the outbreak. There is no running away because the undead are everywhere. You will only have to face them, fight them, and kill them. The controls of the game is very easy because it only rotates from the WASD keys. W for the front walk, S for the back walk, and A for the left walk, and B for the right walk. Mouse to aim around or look around, and left mouse for the shoot. Right mouse for the shoot also. And Escape key for the menu display, spacebar to interact or get items, and V for the inventory. Interaction in the game. Door-to-door, NPCs, and barrels. Door-to-door where you can interact with doors and entering the next game area or game scene. NPCs, where this is also known as non-playable characters, where you can talk to other survivors and interact with them. Barrels, where you can smash barrels and get the items containing it. Sometimes it doesn't have anything inside of it. Target platform, we chose a PC or a desktop computer for this game to fully maximize the thrill and excitement that player may experience while playing the game. Development tools, Unity, Photoshop, and Blender.